make it there and can make it back.
Salutations and shit, folks. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite travel podcast, Travel and Shit, where I, your host, D. Carey, have an experiential conversation about the nuanced ways that travel intersects with regular life. And we are celebrating 5 fucking years of travel and shit. I am tickled to be here that I have done anything consistently as an adult this long. This isn't my mom making me go to dance class. This isn't, playing clarinet in elementary school. It's just like, it's okay, it's just something you do. It's part of who you are. This is something that I consciously choose to do every week on my own with, I don't want to say no reward because it sounds um, like I don't value those of you that listen, but it's like I can't see you. It's not like you guys show up in my little room here with me and record in front of me. Like I don't see you guys. So it is quite a thrill to me and myself that I consistently continue to do this. And I am very proud of that consistency. And I am proud of the really interesting topics that I've come up with and the really, really incredible and interesting people that I have spoken to over the 5 years. And I find it so perfectly in line that today's guest is who they are. I'll start with saying that for the 5 year celebration, I'm just going to kick it with y'all. So, for those of you amazing people that are on the mailing list, you guys know that I have opened an invitation to have guests, have listeners as guests. So, that's what we're doing this month. We just kicking it. We're talking about travel for the most part, things that we would never do again, things that we're looking forward to, and just kind of where we are in the travel space. Nothing deep, just talk like people, because I don't think that, I tell you guys is, I try to remember to bring it up every week, but travel is so much more than vacation. So for me, it's one of those things that if you throw a word at me and I can make it about travel, I don't think that travel necessarily has to specifically be about a destination. I think there's so much value in the conversation outside of just the destination and just more in line with the conversation of what did you get from that experience? Why did you embark on the experience the way you did? What did you figure out? Was there any weird shit that happens? Talk to me about it. There's so much involved in the conversation of travel outside of I went to Barcelona and here's my itinerary. So I say all that to say that over the course of the 5 years, I've had some really incredible conversations, and I've also had some really fulfilling and meaningful conversations on the other end. And there have been quite a few of you who have been very supportive and encouraging along the way. And Teela, I don't know if you know how important your support has been, but it means a lot. So thank you. And I'm so honored to have you as my first guest, just kicking it with my listeners. I'm happy to have you here. And Teela is my OG best friend. She's the first best friend that I ever had. And we have been friends throughout the years. So, best friend, so guest, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Teela. I have known Dana forever, pretty much as long as I've had memories. So, we always have supported each other, and I big up this podcast as much as I can. Carry the pen around, like if anybody ever needs to borrow it, I'm like, oh hey, that's my friend's podcast, by the way. Yeah. So. I currently reside in Brooklyn, work in Manhattan, native New Yorker. Yeah, so happy to be here, and this is super exciting for me. So,
Okay, so I don't know if we are. I hear what you're saying, but I think you might be a little bit delayed. So until it catches up, don't be weirded out if I'm just staring at the monitor.
okay.
I can hear what you're
I kind of
saying.
figured that's what it was. I was like, did she hear
It's
me?
wild.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can
So you
hear
said
what you're saying. It was just we had a lag.
okay.
So we're good. I can hear you. Your phone number, like your parents' house number, is like one of the 5 numbers that I still know to this day. Like that is how
Your
fundamental
parents'
and
number too.
developmental our relationship is. Like I don't know my man's number, like, and I
Yeah,
intend
it's
to
crazy, right?
marry the shit out of him, but I don't know his fucking number. But I bet
It's
you I could call your
nuts. I
parents'
remember.
house at the drop of a dime.
Like it's I still remember your parents' house number too. I was like, well, I mean, if anything happens, I can call like yeah, my parents' house, obviously.
Yeah,
It's okay,
we'll be able to find
Dana's
each other
parents,
the long way.
yeah. Several other people from like pre-cell phone era where it was like you had to call their house. I
Hmm.
still have their phone numbers live rent free in my brain. I'm like, oh, that's right. I know that number. Okay. It's one of those weird things. Like,
Speaking of numbers, like the OG numbers that you always know, what are
mm-hmm,
some of your I will always do this when it comes to travel? Because I know in terms of travel questions, you and Gina are
mm-hmm,
absolutely on like the top of my list of people to reach out to, especially when I need a recommendation for what to do in a city because y'all do some really, really cute trips. It remind me to go back and talk to you about Gina's last birthday trip because that does sound
mm-hmm.
quite interesting. But what are some of the things that you absolutely will always do because they have not failed you?
Okay, I will always look for a local coffee shop to try like where they get their beans from and how their pastries taste. And I also feel like a cafe is like a great way to see the neighborhood or area that you're visiting. And let's see, what else do I always do? I always overpack, although that has nothing to do with the destination. Um, I try to research the area as much as I can to see if, just to see what the locals really like. And also, depending on where it is, if there is a top donut spot in that area, because one of my local domestic travel goals
Hmm.
is to hit up the top donut spots like in the country. So far, I've made it to like 4. So that's been a fun experience. I'm like, oh wait, how
Okay.
far is it from where we're staying? Is it close? Can we get there in a half hour? Can we walk there? Um, it's yeah. Most of my top things that I always do is like food based. So,
Which ones have you been to?
well, let's see. I went to Voodoo Donuts in Portland, Oregon. Blue Star in California. They have
Okay.
2 locations. Holy Donut in Portland, Maine. And then I've hit up almost all the New York ones, like so Dough, Donut Plant, and there's another one that like is kind of newer, and I just tried one of their donuts, and it was amazing. The name is escaping me right now, but I will find it because they just opened a location in Brooklyn that I'm happy about. So yeah, that's one of my.
I did not know you were such a donut aficionado. Girl, I cannot stand donuts. Like I don't want to say I can't stand them. If it's take it or leave them, you can have all my donuts.
Mhm.
Like I will always save the donuts for you. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
It's nothing about them that I don't like. It's just I'm not. You know what it
Hmm.
is? I'm just not really a sweets girl. I'm just
Yeah,
not
I
a
was gonna say,
sweets
like, you're
girl.
not a
But
sweet
I
person,
like
so
that
I get
idea
that.
of absolutely. Yeah, I think that I like that idea of having a thing that you look for in
Hmm.
all of the cities that you go for. And that's honestly, I think, a really easy way for you to figure out an itinerary that you're going to like, also, right? What the fuck do you
Hmm.
do at home? Like, what are you into? Do it everywhere you go or look into it everywhere you go. Like, I really do enjoy museums. I try to go to an African American museum. If your city has one, I want to check it out. I want to pop in. I want to see what all is there. Some of them are beautifully curated and have a lot of really cool, like local um, people of note in
Hmm.
certain exhibits that are highlighted and stuff like that, which is really nice to be able to see. And then, like, oh, okay, where you're walking down the street, and then it's like, oh, something pops up in the back of your mind. If you remember, they were talking about this, or this actually is well known for X, Y, and Z happening in this area, or whatever. But Thank you for that. I think that that is a very accessible travel tip, that just pick something that you're into and make it a thing that you do in different places. It's a little, like like I was saying, one of my favorite ways, if you follow me on the social medias, you've seen this one. But one of my favorite
Hmm.
ways to take photos is like find a really large landmark and just take photos of it from different areas in the city, or pictures of you and the landmark in different areas of the
Hmm.
city, because if it's large enough, you can see it from a lot of different places. Just walk
Yeah.
around and then look up and notice where the landmark is. Shoot a picture, and it gives you a kind of, way to look back and change your perspective, and different ways to remember the walk or the little tour that you took around a city. It's a nice way to explore, something I easy, free, like doing.
Yeah, and like you can even
Okay,
do like
so
different times of day. Like today it was at sunset,
yeah,
and this is how the building looks like from this way. And yeah, that's a cool thing too.
yeah, especially at night. That was another one. The what is that? I think is it the CN Tower in Toronto. That's what it is. I think it's is it the CN Tower, whatever the big needle thing in
Hmm. I know
Toronto
what you're talking about. I
is.
don't remember the name, but
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't fucking know. Um, just making a guess that that's what it's called. But that at night is lit up pretty cool, so it's nice to see
Mm,
that from a different perspective. If when we had gone out to get Chinese one night, and it was really nice to be able, like, there was less traffic. There's really not as much going on at night, so we were able to get like a really nice night shot. And it's like you can't really see us, but it was like a good shot of the actual
yeah.
landmark, which was cool. Um, so, what is something that you are currently looking forward to in your travels? Like, what is on the horizon, whether it be for the rest of the year or for the year coming up? What are you looking forward to?
Well, for kind of a combination, I finally got a global entry appointment, so I am very excited to finally like be getting that done. It's not until December, but still, I'm making moves so that my life can be
Okay.
a lot less chaotic when it comes to like international travel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and next year, a good friend of mine, she and I actually share the same birthday. Um, she wants to do like a big trip to San Tropez. So that is something on my list for next year.
Okay.
Um, I would also like to visit Puerto Rico, and see my main thing is to do a little hiking and also go to the bioluminescent bay. It comes down to
Mm-hmm.
timing because the best time to see it is during a new
Ooh.
moon. So I've been like kind of trying to figure out when would be the best time. And like it's also between oh my gosh, December and April is the best time to see everything there. So it's like new moon cycle
Okay.
during these X amount of months. And I actually spoke with a prior guest of yours to help me curate an itinerary for that. So uh, yeah, I have like
Woo
everything listed
woo.
out and I'm just like trying to figure out the timing right now. So those are the few things I'm looking forward to at the moment.
That
I have a
sounds
bunch
so
of other
fucking
like,
dope.
yeah, I have some other places like in mind for the
Yeah.
next like couple of years,
Oh, no.
but nothing like
Because the
right
right
away.
calendar will tell you when the moon
Oh, yeah.
changes and whatnot.
Yep. I have it. They have it down to like the
Yeah.
latitude and longitude. So,
Yeah. Ooh, even better. Okay, so what else did you have on the horizon? Sandro Pay,
that's it for
Bioluminescence in Puerto
now.
Rico. What else you got?
Um I
Hmm.
still have so many places on my list that I want to visit and it's like now that I have the bandwidth in terms of like where I'm working that I can even think about taking vacations, I'm kind of taking it slow because I don't want to overwhelm myself. And yeah, but I even some local places, like I would love to go back to Portland, Maine. It's
Hmm.
one of like just
Yes.
it's just such a cute little area and there's like so many different things to do. It's kind of artsy, kind of
Oysters.
foodie. Yes,
Mm.
oysters.
The food,
And
girl.
we have such a great selection there.
That's where my heart lies.
Back in Vermont, I would love to see some foliage this year, maybe. Again, depends
Hmm.
on timing. October kind of snuck up on me and is already booked solid. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like when are we going to do this?
Yeah.
And then a few visits. Definitely going to try to get more back and forth more to San Diego, well, San Diego area. My god sister and her
Hmm.
family live out there, and she
Oh,
has two
okay.
little ones. So I'm going to be her daughter's godmother, which is super exciting. So I
Oh,
definitely want to try to work in.
congratulations on the
Thank you. Yeah,
baby.
me and Gina are going to co-parent, as I said. So it's pretty awesome to be doing that alongside her too. So definitely going to try to work in more like short trips to see them.
Hmm.
And yeah, I would love to get to. My friend lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and I want to go to
Hmm.
Sedona, Arizona as well. Like they have
Mm.
some of the best spas like in the country, from what people have told
Yeah,
me.
that's on my list.
Yeah, and just like amazing hiking spots, and there's just so much history there as well. And then like all the
Hmm.
national parks at some point, but that is, that's like a
Yes,
lifelong thing.
absolutely.
Like that's just like you can start whenever and whenever. Try to hit up one or two. My coworker went to South
I
Dakota
want one of
recently,
those.
and the scratch off maps.
I want one of those water cooler, like the yeah, but no, like the water jug that has like
Yeah.
the spot for the stickers of all
Oh
of
yes.
the
Those are
national
yeah.
parks.
Okay.
I want one of
Yeah.
those. I don't know if it's a Yeti or whatever. I don't
I've
give a
seen
fuck
that
about Yeti
somewhere.
in terms of the brand, and like I don't know anything of it. That's giving me very America. I don't know. That's my perception of it. I could be wrong, but I say all that to say the brand of it all doesn't really matter. I just want one of those
Yeah.
big ass water bottles that I can put the stickers for all the national parks
Yeah.
on. That's
No,
so cute to
I've
me.
seen
I want
those.
one of
It's pretty
those.
cool because I like I said like the scratch off map. Like I got Gina one of I think it's just the is it the world? I can't remember. I got it for her a few years ago for her birthday, and you can scratch off every country and like state you've been to. Uh, but yeah, I would like love something like that
Yeah,
to.
I have one on my wall that I've
Mhm.
not scratched in
Yeah, that's the
years.
other thing. I was like, am I really going to use it?
So
So
you
I'm waiting until I
mentioned
hit up a few more locations to
the
do it.
bandwidth. Yeah, you mentioned the bandwidth at this current job being way more
Hmm.
manageable in terms of traveling, and that got me to thinking.
Hmm.
I've had quite a few different jobs. What has been like your experience with jobs and like taking off from work in terms of travel? Like, what has that been like for you? Has it been a I'm gonna take the time and y'all just gonna see not see me, or we'll deal with the
Hmm.
repercussions when we get back? Or has it been more of a I've had a pretty easy go at it. I don't have to make up stories.
It's a little in between. So
Hmm.
my last few companies kind of had a unspoken rule that you can't take 2 weeks off, like back to back.
Okay.
One company was like, "Oh, you can do that, but it's only like if you're going on a honeymoon." And I'm like, "That's so messed up." Like, so I'm not allowed to take a 2 week vacation because I'm not getting married right now. Like, what the f, man? And yeah, it was really hard to take off like more than 3 days at a time because I was the only person who did the job. So like, it's not like
Mm,
if I left, someone else would be taking care of everything. It would kind of just be like, if this isn't urgent, it has to wait until next week when Teela gets back. Excuse me. And that was like the same with my last company. I was kind of
hmm.
overseeing a lot of stuff, and I other people could help me, but when it came down to like the communication and just knowing the entire backstory, I was kind of the only person to do it.
Hmm.
So I would still need to be
Hmm.
reachable if I was ever away. So I never
Hmm.
really took more than like a few days and like or like a long weekend. So it was really like 2 or 3 days
Hmm.
um, before and after a weekend. Now I have not
Understaffed,
taken
bad bitch. Got it.
exactly. That's basically what it came down to. Like everyone was just they were understaffed and like they
Yeah.
wanting people to be there all the
waiting on
time.
you to get it done, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like
And
it sucks
now,
across
like,
the
yes,
board.
it would
Yeah,
be
I've
would be
not.
oh, sorry, like now it would be a bit challenging
Like,
still to
I've
take 2
not
weeks off.
had.
That's because I'm neurotic.
We're gonna keep doing this back and forth. That's the funky part about the connection. But
Sorry.
I was saying I have. It's okay, girl. I have not had at this current job. I've been with this job probably the longest of any of the jobs that I've had in the past, and it's got a lot of shit I hate about it. But I will say, I get a lot of vacation time. I do
Mm.
not have. However, I do not have the same flexibility with that vacation time. Any job where I've had, say, like a week or 2 weeks, like max for the year, or like, for. Honestly, I can't even think back because I'm trying to think back, like, even on the first jobs that I had, like, out of college, like my first adult job where like I had vacation. The only vacation I remember taking was for Alicia's wedding. Like, what the fuck was I doing with my life that I wasn't going anywhere? Granted, like, I know
Wow.
it, that can't have been it. Okay, like I remember there had to, okay, so then after that, where the hell was I? I'm trying to think of what job was that, like with the refrigerators, or was that at the doctor's office? Because then I'm like, all right, well, I definitely went down there for like AJ, for no, it was AJ's baby shower. Then
Hmm.
I know it was for like Reese's birthday. So it's like I know I was out there often, but I'm like, did I just take like a Friday off? Because I cannot for the life of me remember taking like a full week off, because where the fuck was I going? I really didn't travel that much until up. Okay, I remember Mardi Gras. I would take a week for
Mm.
that. Like, I'm having like a hard time. Like, I know I got time, and I'm thinking maybe that's another reason why I didn't travel that much while I was younger, because if all I had was like the 2 weeks, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I'm saving it
Hmm.
for like important shit, like my best friend's having a baby, or it's my goddaughter's first birthday kind of thing. So,
Hmm.
I'd like to have 3 days, 2 days, the front and back. And so it's like, I feel like it was probably a lot easier. And in certain places, like, oh no, I can't come in on X day because I've got something to do. And it's just like, oh, okay, so I won't see you that day. And you just have days. But I, don't have that flexibility now. However, I have the time that I didn't have before. And I'm wondering now that I've actually had to say it out loud, if that had anything to do with why I didn't necessarily see, traveling as a priority. It just wasn't in the top of mind.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like I feel that hard because same thing. Like, well, I only have 2 weeks, and I know I have this to do, like my birthday, my sister's birthday. Might need to take off like just an extra day for like celebrating, like like one of my parents' birthdays or something. Or oh, like
Hmm.
I know that so and so is getting married, and I'm gonna have to travel there, and I'm gonna need an extra day. So because like 2 weeks isn't really technically 2 weeks. It's 10 days. So like you don't get actual
Yeah.
14 days off. So it's like it, where do I save it? Do I hang on to it? And I have lost out in my previous jobs on so many days because it was a use it or lose it situation,
Hmm.
and they
My
did
God.
not pay you out at the end of the year. And like even to
Yeah.
the point where like I resigned from my previous job, everyone's like, "Do you still have vacation days?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've got like a whole week left." And they're like, "So just take the last week off and still get paid for it." And I was like, "That feels weird." I did not do that, but looking back, I'm like,
Are you serious?
"Yeah, totally
Girl,
neurotic." I know.
what? You
I
better get
know.
the people money. Also, pro tip, because I had
Mhm.
to learn the hard way, don't make your last day the end of the month. Always make it at the beach. at the top or the beginning of a month, because if you have insurance through your motherfucking job, they will cut your shit off
Mhm.
at the end of the month. But if you
Yeah.
resign or quit at the top of the month, they have to cover your insurance through the rest of the month, and then you're eligible for Cobra.
Pay
So
for
baby,
it.
get that free
Yeah.
month insurance. Well, not free, because you paying for it after whatever you take,
Yeah.
after whatever they take out your check. But do not resign at the end of the month. I was so fucking butthurt when I left the doctor's office, because I made like my last day, I think like the end of January or the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
And I, girl, it was, I wish I'd have known. Even if, say, for example, you start your new job on the 24th of February, but
Mm-hmm.
you mad cool with your supervisor. Like, talk to the supervisor and be like, yo, check this out. Do I have any vacation days, or can you find any leeway so that you could have me
Yeah.
out for the last like 3-4 days of February, and then have my official last day be the 1st of March, and this way you can continue your insurance, even if you know that, like, all right, I got to be out of here because I need to start
Yeah.
someplace else at the end of the month. Either negotiate with the job you're leaving to like have your last day technically, whether it be sick, vacation, or whatever other category of time they need to use, or talk to the new employer and be like, okay, yes, I would love to start for you, but is it possible to start on X
Mm-hmm.
day? Whether, and also I always like to advocate for self time. Get you a week off in between, like take a break, a free
Yeah.
vacation. Like if you can
I
afford
took
to
like
go
half a week.
1 week
Well,
without pay, depending, what the numbers look like, don't be crazy.
yeah, that's the main reason why I was not
What did you
ever able to
take?
really take off that. I think I took like almost not even a full week between my last job and this job, but it was the middle of the month, so I got in like those 2 days I did have off. I did like all of my doctor's appointments, and I was like, I'm getting all of this done, so I know that I'm good until for at least another 6 months.
Yeah.
Um, so
Stretch.
I banged everything
Y'all,
out in three
don't learn
days.
from
I'm
us.
okay.
Stretch these people.
Yeah, man. That's
Get the
one
most
thing
out
that I
of
will
them
say. Like,
people's money, because they don't work the most out of you. And I promise underpaid. Everybody, we all underpaid, man.
take the
Take these
vacation
people
days. If
money.
you
These
have PTO,
companies take your days.
yeah. Even if you're just, even if you stay home or do a staycation, take
Yeah.
the days.
Thank you.
Learn from
Right. Don't
my
leave money
is
on the
plus worth of
table.
experience. Mm-hmm. It's worth it, even if it's like a mental health day is
Speaking
like
of nothing left
so
behind.
needed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of nothing left behind, do you have any regrets from your travels? Was there anything left behind? I will forever regret not letting my mama buy me this purple, like, what do you call it? I don't want to say satchel, but what, like, it was like a pouch. It was an eggplant purple. It was the softest leather. It was like a long
Mm.
strap, and it was like a bucket bag. There we go. It was a bucket bag. So it was maybe about, it wasn't too big, it wasn't too small, but it was like a nice little bucket with like the drawstring. So it was like a little set. Ooh, so gorgeous. It was a perfect bag, but it was my mama's birthday. And I had taken her to St. Martin for her birthday, and we had gone to
Ah.
St. Bart's for like the day. And I'm just like, no, Ma, it's your birthday. You can't buy it. And
Oh man.
damn it, I wish. I wish. So that is something that I left behind that I will forever kick my own ass for. Do you have anything from any of your travels that you regret leaving behind?
I don't I don't think so, because I will say there were things that I'm like, I have to go back and do that. But for me,
Okay.
what it is
Okay.
like it makes me add it to my list to go back and visit. Like, okay, so when I went to uh why is my brain St. Lucia, there we go. Um we did a few
Okay.
things close to the resort area. And then like there was one excursion that we wanted to do, that went through, like there was like this volcano tour and like I think like a little hiking with it. We just did not have time because like the only time that
Mm-hmm.
they had it like kind of, it just didn't work out. So
Right.
I just keep saying, I was like, well, that just means I have to go back because that was just a gorgeous trip. Like we had such a great time. That was like probably my last real extensive vacation because I think I was gone for what, like 4, almost 5 days. And
Okay.
it was a gorgeous island, the part that we saw anyway, like it was just, I definitely need to go back and just spend a couple of days simply just relaxing and then a couple of days doing some
Mm-hmm.
excursiony stuff. We visited this waterfall in like the rainforest area and did a short hike. But now that I'm more into hiking, I'm like, ooh, I want to see more of that. Like, are there more trails that we could walk up? Is there
Yeah.
more, like, is there another part of the waterfall on the other side? Like, um, we also
It's
learned a lot
worth
about
it.
coconuts, which was super interesting. So I just, like I don't say regrets because I've always learned from everywhere I've been. And if anything, I just want
Mm-hmm.
to go back. So, yeah.
Okay. I can kind of vibe with the not wanting to say regrets, but this blank spot on my wrist was
Hmm.
reserved for the tattoo that I had scheduled in Cuba. And
I remember that. Yeah.
I had the most incredible fucking day leading up to when I was supposed to have this appointment. And the day that was so perfect and incredible ended up going longer than it was scheduled to. And then even like the extended version of the schedule got extended by me being Miss Congeniality, super friendly, and extending the taxi that I was taking to the city to the larger group of people that was with me. And one motherfucking ragamuffin fucked it up for everybody. And I will say, shout out to those of the rest of the crew that was on the type of time that I was on that saw
Yeah.
the joy fizzle out of my eyes when we all realized that I had shit to do, that they were now slowing me down for it. And I know they felt bad, but unfortunately, it was not them that was holding us up. And I should have just been like, so either y'all could take a cab from here or we could
Hmm.
leave your boy here. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
my heart is bigger than that. And so that is what I decided to do, was just leave this for going back. It's just like, this is my reminder. Okay, yeah, I just got to go back to Cuba.
Hmm.
I got to get that tattoo done. I always said that even if it was just like an overnight trip or a quick little weekend kind of getaway, like I don't need to necessarily do another full week, but why would I not? Like, Cuba is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I've
And
heard.
I would absolutely want to go to, I want to say, if I'm looking at a map, it's like the southeastern part of the map, but I could also be motherfucking wrong. But I know there was another area that I was talking to Nikki and Kevin, two people that I met while I was out there. They were telling me about a certain area that they were going to go to on another trip. And I think they actually ended up going back after the fact. But long and short, I can understand why you wouldn't want to call it a regret. And that's one of the things that I would tell myself about the tattoo, is that I can't say I regret it because I had such an incredible fucking time. Like, I was
Yeah.
having a good time as I was leading up to the time that it was the time. And the only reason why I didn't end up perfect is because I didn't end up getting what I wanted. So it's, do I regret that? No. So yeah, I guess it would be fair to say no regrets. No regrets. Empty space. All right. So what would I don't like, do you have any travel? Like, what would you ask? What do you, I don't know. Like, I want you to, this, like, I'm opening the floor to you. Like, what do you
Okay.
like to close out the conversation? Like, what do you want to close our conversation with? Like, what the fuck you want to talk about? Like, do you have a question? Do you have a statement? Is there something that's been on your spirit about travel? Have you seen something that you wanted to bring? It's all you, girl. What we want to talk about.
Um, I mean, I will say I always love how you say like it's more than just travel, like it's a whole experience. And I agree with that. Like I love going places where I can just one, relax, two, have fun, possibly do something I've never tried before, eat new food or something like that. See some of that local culture, even if it is like a domestic area in the US, but like every region is different. So we learn something new from everyone we meet, like every day. So traveling to new places or even old places you've been, but maybe you haven't been to the east side of that town, there's always something to learn and something to see and experience. And those memories, like, okay, I didn't get a picture of it. I didn't record this. I didn't do that. But like, maybe you just had like a really
Mm.
hilarious, like, inside joke in this one restaurant in this one little town and wherever you were with whoever you were with. And that memory is going to like be in your head, like, oh my God, I remember this one time you were at this random place and then like blah, 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 blah. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, I just love like creating and making memories in different places. And I am a perpetual learner. Like I love finding something new out or like a random fact about a place. Like, oh, I never knew that this was the first place to ever create or the first place that had a restaurant like in the entire country. Like I just
Mm.
learned something like that recently. So that's
Yeah.
that was the forefront of my mind. And like that's one of those things where you're like, wait, so someone that was like the first time, like that was the first place that had a restaurant? Like people thought, oh, let's serve other people food, and like that
Yeah.
became a
A
thing.
Snapple fact.
And it's still a thing. Yeah, like exactly. Like I love stuff like that. So yeah, just experiencing it as more than just taking cute pictures. Like, yes, that always helps, of course, and it's fun. But, really engrossing yourself in like what's around you and stopping and smelling the roses and stuff like that.
Hmm.
If that makes sense, I think, right? Yeah.
Oh no, it does. It does. No, yeah, experiencing the experience, like being present. Um, it sucks when there is, I don't want to say a disconnect, but just like a glitch in the matrix. Like I know that there have been times where I have actively engaged with self and said, let me just be present in the moment and do my best to remember as much as I can from this experience. And then turns out you don't remember the experience. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't, well, I don't want to say I don't, but I try not to let it be like, I don't want to say like a personal indictment on myself, but I try not to beat myself up over,
Mm-hmm.
not remembering everything. Retention is just not my ministry. It has never been my ministry. Um, I do my best, but I know that, for example, even in past concerts, right? As
Mm-hmm.
important as something was leading up to it, as exciting as a thing may have been to me, I can't say that I remember every moment. Like, I'll use the Beyonce concert for an example. I was so fucking excited to go to that concert. Like, I was so turned up and hyped. I think more like I was excited more so to see my other best friend Dell, and I hadn't seen her daughter in a while, so I think more that ended up being more of the highlight for me. But
Mm-hmm.
like I was so into that experience, but for the life of me, I cannot say that looking back on a lot of the footage, oh, I remember when that happened. Or, yep,
Mhm.
I remember exactly how she came up. Like when I tell you, I was like near tears when she initially shows up and like hits the first note, and you're just like so in the moment. But I couldn't tell you what I was looking at. I couldn't tell you what I was hearing. I couldn't tell you what the first song she sang was. I couldn't tell you what the first outfit she wore was. But I was present. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
Mhm.
I try my best to be as present in every moment as I possibly can. But I've also learned along the way to just give myself a lot more grace and to not beat myself up
Yes.
for the things that I can't necessarily remember, because ultimately, if I can at least look back and remember the excitement leading up to it, even if I can't necessarily be clear about all of its details, I feel like the experience will still be what it was supposed to be. So, thank you so much for this conversation about multiple ways that travel can be so much more than just the destination. And thank you so much for all of your years of continued support. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for your friendship. And I'm so grateful to also have you as a listener of my motherfucking podcast. So, where can the people find you?
Well, also, thank you for having me. This is super exciting for me. I love you too. Like I'm just so happy and proud of you. Like all of what you've done with everything. This is just great. I don't really do public social media, but I do have a meetup group that I'm a part of. If you're in the New York City
Oh,
area,
yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
check us out. It's Blacktivity. I can shoot you the IG handle.
Hmm.
And we
And I'll put that for
like,
people that want to be socials.
yeah, it's literally just like a bunch of people doing different activities, and yeah, we have fun. Like we have bowling for this week. I think I put up a pizza making and limoncello making class in a couple of weeks. Yeah, we do
Ooh.
all the things. Yeah, so I will
Hey,
definitely
y'all, at Black
give.
Activity.
Hey, oh, they'll be so excited that I give them a shout out. So we've had so much fun. So yeah, find us. Find us outside, as the kids say. Right? That's what people say.
All right. I'm Girl, I am learning from the same source as you, wherever the socials are telling me. So we may be late on the wave, but catch them outside, y'all. And catch traveling shit outside and inside and wherever you listen to podcasts. I am pleasure. I am happy. It is my pleasure to have you listening to the podcast. And I hope that you continue to listen and enjoy what you're listening to. I'll see you guys next week celebrating more of the 5-year anniversary of Travel and Shit. And if you would like to be a guest, join the mailing list. Join the mailing list and just reply that you would like to be a guest. That's it, y'all. The link for that will be in the description box, or you could just go to the website, travelandshitpodcast.com, and hit subscribe. And I'll see you in the emails. Bye, y'all.
Bye.